Today we're going to be taking a look at the JJRC H37, the Elfie. And this is like a selfie app-controlled quadcopter. Has a adjustable camera and you control it with your smart device. This was sent to me courtesy of LiTake.com, so thanks to LiTake for sending me this one for review. I gotta admit, I wasn't super excited about it. Don't really like app-controlled quads, but this one kind of won me over. It actually flies really nice, even just flying it with your cell phone. So let's get into the review and check it out. Okay, today we are going to be taking a look at the JJRC Elfie, world's smallest foldable drone. And this also has a model number on it. I'm not exactly sure. I'll probably have it in the title or something, but they're calling it the Elfie. And this is a cell phone size. Here's my Samsung S5, and here's your quad, which is actually smaller. The phone is thinner, but this is, you know, smaller in height. So, as I said, it is a folding quad, so the arms are gonna fold out like this. And then they fold in nice and small for transport. So that's kind of cool. And this one's geared toward those of you that enjoy taking the selfies and whatnot. Has a camera right here on the front, pinhole camera. It is not a wide angle lens, but most of these aren't these days in these toy grade quads. It does move up and down a little bit, so you can kind of point it straight down, not straight down, but a downward 45-degree angle probably, and then maybe slightly up, but I'm gonna put it kind of right here for our flight today. And it has this battery bay underneath here. This is a 500 milliamp hour battery with a micro or mini low-C connection. It is a bit of a pain to, it plugs in underneath the battery here, or underneath the quad here, and then you kind of stuff the battery in here. I'm not gonna undo it here right now because it's kind of a pain to get it in and out. That is one little con I'd say with this. Other con is, and this is gonna be a pro for some and a con for others, there's no transmitter for this. You just fly it with your smart device. So while we're in here, you comes with a spare set of props and some gears for the motors here, so that's nice. And your USB charger, and then like a little bag that it kind of goes in. Has your instructions here. Instructions aren't super great for this one, but you know, it is what it is here. So turn the quad on with the button right here, right next to the Elfie. And the app for this one is just called JJRC, and that's easily found on the App Store and Google Play and what have you. Actually, before I go into the app, I'm gonna connect, and we are connected, so that should be ready to go. So we're gonna connect here, and I see a picture. LEDs are flashing though, that worries me some. Does that mean my battery's dead? Well, we'll find out. So inside the app, you got a bunch of different buttons, still camera, video camera, your rates, gallery button, and then the on-off button is going to turn your, what do you call it, your sticks and whatnot on and off. So I'm just trying to, there we go. So the hourglass too is going to give you your auto takeoff and auto land. That's what these are. And so why don't we do that? We'll start our video here, and then we'll take off. I'm going to put it in 60%. Not a whole lot of wind out today, but I like to have a little bit more control with this one. So let's bring it up and give it a little bit of throttle. And there we are. I mean, it's fairly responsive. There we are flying around. But a couple things are gonna depend on if this quad is for you or not. First of all, do you have a smart device that will run this? Because, you know, you're only as good, your controls are only gonna be as good as your smart device here. And, you know, it seems to be flying around pretty good now, but I could see that, you know, if you got a phone that's like bogged down and isn't the best, I could see you having problems with this one. And there you go. you know, flying it with your phone, those of you that are used to flying with a transmitter, it's a little bit difficult to fly with the phone. It's definitely doable, and this will fly with the G sensor. I'm not gonna do that though, because I've flown other quads with the G sensor and I'm not a huge fan of it. But this one does look super cool in the air. I mean, look at it. And it flies pretty nice. Like I said, it's a pretty calm day today, so it's doing pretty well, but you definitely don't want to fly this in the wind. And this one is kind of geared towards not necessarily your hobbyist, I would say, more towards the people that want to like get selfies and post some stuff to social media. You're not going to have like a blast flying this around if you're, you know, an RC hobbyist. So here's your yaw rate on 60%. Not bad. A little bit, for me anyway, not super easy to control. I'm used to having a transmitter. Let's go to 100 here and see. So the pitch definitely increases on the 100% rate. And let's see about the yaw, if that changes. Not a huge change if there is one, probably about the same. So I'm gonna go back to that 60% rate. That seems to be like a sweet spot, especially since we don't have a whole lot of wind today. So fairly quiet quad. And I definitely like that. Nobody likes a super loud, annoying quad floating around. But it is somewhat difficult to be precise with it with your phone. And like I said, it's gonna depend on, you know, how responsive your phone is. See, like I was trying to give it yaw there for quite a while before it actually did it. But, you know, it is super cold out right now. So my fingers don't have the best dexterity in the world. And as far as video quality, I'd say it's about on par with every Wi-Fi quad I've flown. And people are gonna ask about range. I would not fly this very far away from you at all, because Wi-Fi is notoriously unreliable for these. So I wouldn't give it much more than, I don't know, 30 to 50 feet, if that. But this is kind of like, you know, you go somewhere and you want to get some shots of you and your friends or whatever. That's kind of what the idea is, I believe. But it is somewhat difficult to get the shots you want because it's kind of hard to manipulate the quad. See, like I'm trying to get myself in the shot here and I can't do it. Let's bring it back. I'm getting a little far away here. So bring it back in, and there I am. And hard to be precise with the yaw. You know, I'm trying to get myself in the shot here, but, and then giving it more than one input at a time is a little bit difficult too. Like if you're trying to give it pitch and yaw or roll and yaw or something like that. So let's bring it down somewhat. I mean, it is fairly impressive that you're flying around and it's done everything I've wanted it to do. Maybe not quite as quickly as I would have liked it to, but I think that's more of like my thumbs pressing on the phone, if that makes any sense. I think it's like, you know, you gotta get a feel for it on the phone. I don't think it's necessarily the quad not responding. It's just I'm so not used to flying a quadcopter with my phone that I don't have like a tactile feel of the sticks. So it's a little bit difficult to fly this one, but it's definitely doable with your phone. Just make sure you have a phone, or I'm not sure if like an iPod or something like that would fly this, but probably. But I mean, the thing flies pretty nice. And the more you practice with something like this, the better you're gonna get at it. So kind of like a yaw spin there. That's interesting. Let's bring it in and see if we can get a shot of it. It has red LEDs in the back and white, like a white one in the front. 2 white ones in the front. I'm not sure if I said that earlier or not. So I kind of don't want to shoot into the sun here. So let's bring it back over here and back it up. And maybe bring it down just a little bit. And we're getting a little bit of wind there. That's why it's pushing over this way, and I see an LVC warning. So we've been recording for about 6 minutes here. So you're gonna get about 5 to 6, maybe even 7-minute flights, depending on what type of conditions you're flying in and how aggressive you're flying in. I don't think you're gonna fly this one too aggressive though. So why don't we land it? We'll hit the auto land button, and I'm just gonna let it do its thing. So there it lands. In about 6.5 minutes. So I'm not sure exactly when we took off or what, but not a bad flyer, and it's definitely going to, as I stop my video, it's definitely going to appeal to a certain consumer out there. Not all of you are going to be interested in this one, but it's kind of a cool toy, you know, if you wanted to get it for a gift for like a birthday or, you know, something like that. Christmas is not for a while, obviously, so it wouldn't have been, you know, it'd be a good gift for somebody that's kind of like techie, I would say. And it folds up nice. You kind of just stick it in your pocket, and you got your cell phone to control it. I'm not sure if, I think the front ones are actually supposed to go in first. Yes, the front arm's going first, and then there we go. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I think this is more of a tech toy than, say, an RC vehicle, if that makes any sense. I mean, it is a RC thing, but I think your general RC flyer is not gonna be as interested in this as, say, someone who wants like a toy to play with and get some interesting video from some different angles. So there you go.